Okay. 2025. Blessings. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good vibes, good energy, good people. It's your boy Mickey Fenty, aka Mickey Made It. If you're new to this channel, you know what to do to this channel. Subscribe right now. Also, if you guys want to support my brand, it's inspiredbydreams.shop. That's the place you'll find all the new drip. We got some new drops in there for 2025, and we just gonna keep it going and rotating for the new year. So here we are in the flesh, 2025. We made it. Not only did Mickey made it, we all made it, okay? So today we got a lot of things to talk about, and you know, I just want to keep my vibe in my energy, everything on a medium right now, because I see some things that can take it all the way down, but I just want to lift it all the way up as well as you guys. It's the first, you know, we want to get things going. So today I just wanted to do a little bit different, and I just wanted to start on something that I've seen, and it really kind of bothered me, and it upset me a bit, man. And it's Elliot Wilson, you know, just speaking on, before we jump into it, excuse me, I rest in peace to my auntie, and I lost in these few days, you guys, I lost a few people. And I know I come on here and I just put, you know, sometimes you don't know everything that's going on behind the scenes, and sometimes I find out things after this, and when I press this is off. So, but I lost my auntie, and also Bruce's his daughter Patsy, and I just at these points, this is the reason why I feel like we should be more connected as human beings, because we all take losses, so we all know what it feels like. But yeah, just healing energy. Yeah, it's just though sometimes we gotta live through it, and still gonna put my blessings and my good energy out there, and whatever I'm dealing with, I'm gonna be strong enough to deal with it. But okay, let's just go into this Elliot Wilson speaking on Cam'ron. Now, when I heard this whole thing, I heard the discussion on shouts out to Rory and Maul, their podcast. I heard the discussion going on, and Elliot Wilson, he started shedding how he felt about Cam'ron having a podcast, and he felt like, being that Cam'ron, you know, was a rapper, now Cam'ron is coming into a space where Elliot feels like that's a space where that he owns. Look, listen, you know what? It's sad when you hear people talk and think like this. When I heard that, I'm like, what did Cam'ron do to you? Number one, I want you guys to just take a look at how I see this. Now, he's the guy saying that Cam'ron is not supposed to be in this space. Cam'ron is being Cam'ron. For anybody that's been fans of Cam'ron, or even heard of his music or his come up from his beginning days, Cam'ron has never changed who he was. He's always stayed true to himself, as well as the place where he came from. Now, when it comes down to Cam'ron and his podcast, just because you have dislikes on his podcast, you're saying his dislikes, Elliot's dislikes, was saying that, you know, everybody is jumping into this space right now of journalism, and he feels like people are pushing him away from his job. Think of the mentality that he's trying to put forth. Now, we all know Cam'ron, right? We all know Cam'ron. Who do you think would give a college, a high school, or just somebody on the come up trying to do their own thing, might not have the college diploma, might not have this, might not have that, but who do you think would be most likely to get a job if the person out of those two people, if Elliot Wilson or Cam'ron? See, that's the difference. And you got to really pay attention. Elliot Wilson, those are the people in the past where they held people back from being great if they didn't see past those people, because they're in it for themselves. That type of selfish thinking, just think about as a YouTube creator or just a content creator. Think about if you getting mad because somebody's doing the things that you're doing or talking about the same things that you're doing. And you look, Elliot Wilson has to understand things have changed, and Cam'ron didn't do anything and push anybody out the way. Cam'ron built a space for himself, and his fans, we all tune in. If you don't like what he's putting out there, you don't have to comment on it and try to down what he's doing and saying or pushing towards what he's doing is not the right way of doing it. What's the right way of doing it, Elliot? Being cookie cut and following what people telling you to do and telling you to say? That's not the way things are. And you know what? When it comes down to Cam'ron, I really commend him, especially he's one of our top favorites over here. You know, especially my brother. That's one of his top favorites. Just being disrespectful to a man that's so original. That's the reason why we have people nowadays, and they're scared to be themselves because they want this cookie cut. And Elliot, man, you know, you have your own crowd. I would never look at another content creator. Picture if content creators looked at me like that. So many content creators have way more subscribers than me, but some people still choose to shout me out. Shouts out to my boy Piper Boy, Choke No Joke, Willie D, Big Willie D. Dopest rapper, one of the dopest rapper, big legends, still shouts me out. And those are people, they don't have hate in their heart. So when I hear people talking like Elliot Wilson, oh, Cam'ron shouldn't be doing this or Cam'ron shouldn't be doing that. Really, Elliot, you shouldn't be talking down on people. That's where you should really check yourself for that. Happy New Year. Much love, blessings. See, now I feel comfortable. Now I feel comfortable. Happy New Year to you and, you know, your family. Just speaking on, you know, with Elliot, he had some harsh things to say on Cam'ron. And I'm like, you know, Cam'ron likes to carve things out the way, I love the way Cam'ron's show goes. He tells the things from the way he likes to do it, and that makes it easier for him. I feel like if people could be more themselves, they will understand and appreciate what Cam'ron does. Everybody makes mistakes, but Elliot has this cookie cut way of him journalism. And you know, to tell you the truth, that's not what journalism is about in these times. Journalism, you have to really connect with your audience for them to understand, you know, to really at least dig what you're saying or your message you're trying to put across. And from that message, just saying that, you know, it's cringy and this and that. Well, Cam'ron is doing pretty good. I've seen his podcast. I think it's out in Vegas. And he's doing great numbers, big numbers, and as well as doing great numbers, he's putting people on. I believe one of his hosts is a college student, and he hired her. And I've seen Cam'ron do so many different things that other podcasts implemented in what they're doing, like giving gifts and things. Cam'ron was the first one to do that. Cam came in there and gave everybody paychecks in front of everybody's face to show you that the love he had for the people, everybody working. And that's the same thing I always tell you. Just treat the janitor just like how you'll treat the boss. The same respect is shown. So when I see a person like Elliot, I can tell that he's the type of person that he looks down on people like, oh, you don't have this amount of numbers. You don't have this. You don't have that. Well, Cam'ron built his own space, Elliot. And you just have to, and it's like me looking at other YouTubers and saying, oh, no, I don't want them talking about this because this is what I'm not like that. That's just not like the way to go about life. Like, how are you gonna even try to think that, and people say this with this, like, they acting like they're right. They say it with this posture of, oh, I'm so right. You're not right, you're wrong. Cam'ron, he's been doing things his way. He's picked out his own color that he likes. Everything Cam'ron has done is how Cam'ron likes to do it. Stop hating, man. We got to get off of that, especially out here in New York. I can't even point the finger. I'm going to point the finger at us. Me, myself included, and I'm no hater, but I live in this place, and I know people out here, and I know the energy out here, and it's a lot of hate, and we got to get off of that. We got to find more ways to see how there's more spots that can be open for more of us instead of trying to push people away of what they're doing. So if you're going to talk about Cam'ron, talk in a good sense of the way he carved it out and show people you can do it your way and still do what you want to do. Come on now. It's straight disrespectful. Elliot, you got to really, come on, you got to do better than that. And just because you're a journalist, what about the Shannon Sharps, all the people that's did something besides what they, you know, are known for? There's nothing wrong with taking a leap and trying something else. I think he's losing the whole spirit of entrepreneur. What do you think? I'm just a content creator? Like I just jumped on here and this is all I did in my life? No, this is something I choose to do because I see the benefits in it, that I can actually touch the youth and touch more people with my message than I could in the physical, so I can get this out. That's the reason why I use the platform the way I do. If I was chasing numbers or chasing who has the best this and best that, you think I would win in a place where people are paying for fake views? I'm not silly like that. You got to use common sense and don't down people for the things they do, because as small content creators, you'd be surprised who tunes into our shows. You'd be so surprised. You'll be so surprised. We chop it up with the people, and it's just that type of thing. It just rubbed me wrong, man. But I just on Cam'ron, Elliot, take Cam'ron's name out your mouth. Cam'ron been an entrepreneur since the beginning. And if you know anything about his lyrics, his music, his story, he spoke about it from SD on. From the beginning in his lyrics, he would tell you that, you know, his mom owned like a deli or something. He was always an entrepreneur. So I think whatever Cam'ron does and he's successful at it is because he has that type of confidence. I think, Elliot, you should use you should take a little tip from his confidence, add it to yours, and maybe your audience will understand you for who you are and not this mumbo jumbo you've been talking on rappers. People, you know, people could do more than just rap. Don't think that's a person who only just does one thing and that's all they can do. There's a lot of things people do. It's just, come on, man. Another thing I've been seeing going on, I know you guys seen it. This has been going around. I don't know what's going on. With this Joe Budden. Okay, so Joe Budden, he got caught butt naked outside of his hotel. Now when I first heard that, I'm like, you know, this can't, I mean, I'm not gonna take this serious. But then I heard, you know, somebody read over the charges, and I believe it was The Stop. They was reading over the charges, and I'm like, oh, he got charged for this, so this got criminal. Okay, so what's going on? Why are you, is he trying? I thought, my thoughts in my head as disgusting as, you know, I don't want to picture the man standing out there butt naked, but I'm just thinking maybe, you know, he was arguing with his girl and he's trying to get back in the room. And maybe she looked through his phone and seen something and he pushed him out and he's trying to get back in there to get his phone snatched. It's just this, you know, the back and forth mistrust type of scenario. But now I'm hearing, though, he was trying to get into somebody else's door butt naked. That's when the light bulb went off. I'm like, what is going on? Was he intoxicated? Was there somebody, what was going on to make you think that you could stand in front of somebody trying to swipe the key butt naked? And I don't know, it just, I feel like with that whole Joe Budden thing, I have to get more information on it, even though as much as I don't want any more information on it. But it just sounds like, you know, something was going out of whack, and the weirdness of it is, I don't know, man. All I can say is, you know, just get out of the habit of doing all of this weird stuff. 2025, you got to be more aware of what you're doing. If you're inside, he said something on his show about sleepwalking, and sleepwalking is a thing, but sleepwalking is not all the way like what people think is like you're in a fully sleeping state. It's kind of like you're in the mid between sleeping and kind of, you know, awake, and it's like a over drowsiness, in other words. So I don't know if that would make you go outside and, I mean, if you was sleepwalking, what made you take the key as well? So you was sleepwalking, picked up the key. I don't know. It sounds a little bit something. The pieces are missing in there. So I don't know what's going on with that. But it got criminal because I believe charges were pulled up. I don't know. It just sounds weird. I don't know where that was going. That was just crazy. Did you guys hear the Uncle Murda, the 2024 wrap up? It's pretty dope. Murda always nails it. You know, he switched up the beats once again. I mean, he spoke on so many things, man. And one thing I want to say about it all is, when I realized how many things went down in 2024, it's crazy, y'all. I'm just hoping the best for 2025, because 2024 was more like deaths and unexpected things that we would have never expected. Like the whole Diddy, I think Diddy just put the icing on the cake, and he's still in the same position. So things got very serious, man. Things got very serious. Today, I wanna open your minds up to something. Now I just said Diddy, it sparked a light bulb over my head, and I want y'all to understand where I'm going with this. And this isn't gonna be, before I start, this is no disrespect towards the feds, okay? So I don't want to get myself in any trouble, but I just want to give you just something that I thought about, and it just hit me like a light bulb. Okay, now, if you guys never heard of this person, you can go check him out. There's many documentaries on him, and there's many stories about this man. He's one of the biggest scammers of all time. He did the Ponzi scam. His name is Bernie Madoff. Now, Bernie took people's life savings. He was so selfishly driven to take people out for their last bit of money, and we're talking everything. And some of these people, they were at their retiring points, and there's no other way they was going to get job or income, so they was losing a lot of things in the process. Now, I believe he did prison time for it, but I was reading in the news, right? This just shot a light bulb right over my head. I was reading in the news that now he has to pay back. Let me just get the correct number for you to just let you know how this money thing works. He has to pay back $131 million to everybody that he scammed, right? So now it's everything is coming back in full circle. Just hear me out for a minute. Now, who do you think they're getting that money from? Everybody that's getting locked up in the feds right now, they're going to have to pay back these people. All that, you think that the feds, they make money, but all of these people like the Diddys and all their money that the feds are grabbing them for their money, look, $131 million has to be paid out to those people that lost their life savings through a man that pulled one of the biggest Ponzi scams of all time in America. And you think that they're not looking for people to put that pot back in? That's $131 million missing. If you look at it like insurance, that insurance company would have had to close down. So think about it. And watch the pot. Watch. So when you think that they're not pulling, this something. I'm not saying that's their because it's if you do the crime, you do the time. And what they pull from you, being that you do the crime, you can't really fight for that at that part. But what I'm trying to say is $131 million he has to repay everybody that he did those Ponzi scams. Now, some of them have passed away due to stress and just the whole dealing with this whole situation. But I guess the money would probably go to their family or their kids or whatever, But I was just thinking in my head, $131 million. They have to, it's not like they're going to, I know that they make money, but it's not like they're just going to make money because then the value would drop. So where are they getting this money from? Oh, all the people that's being arrested for stealing other people's money. If you really look at it, what they did was they pulled a Ponzi scam on the people. So the government used the tactic of the Ponzi scam, but just using it in a reverse way. In other words, the people that pull Ponzi's on people, they use the same thing to take their money now. Like Ponzi scams usually, it's Peter pay Paul. So I take your money, then I get somebody else to pay you the money I promised you, then I take their money, and it's everybody's paying everybody else besides but me. And then one day, though, everybody wakes up and there's nobody to pay anybody, and I have everything in the bag. That's a Ponzi. So what it looks like and sounds like, that $131 million that he has to pay, yeah, they're gonna have to come up with that money. And from all the people that was doing all of this stuff with their money, where do you think that money is going? Where do you think it's going? It's going into the pockets of those people. It's the biggest Ponzi scam America reversed on criminals. Y'all look out for that. Another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, this whole Diddy thing, man. It's 2025. We're gonna realize how fast time just, marches right into where this whole case. And from what I'm hearing up to this point so far, it looks like he's gonna probably most likely be doing, the most time he's gonna be doing is for the, the sex trafficking and just, I guess, the, that pink stuff. Y'all know what I mean. I don't want to say it on YouTube to get in trouble. But that seems like that's gonna be the decision for the majority of his time. You understand what I'm saying? Because everything else, as far as like the people, I don't know. I don't see anything clear on anything, and it's looking so fuzzy. I don't know. I feel like it's so sad to say this, but the longer you wait it out, the easier it is for people to converse a story. The ones that just want to look at this for benefit, and and it makes the victims that actually went through these horrific things, they get in a position now where they feel like they're not being defended. But we're still here. We're still here for the victims, and it's not like we're forgetting them. It's just that I'm just looking at it and just being fair and looking into it like, you have to have substantial evidence to put somebody away. They keep going at Jay, they keep going at Jay, they keep going at Jay-Z. But it's not working because the evidence, they don't have, it looks like they don't have it, but it seems like he's trying to present it in a way where he's giving it like a Jay-Z, like this bully tactic. And I don't know how criminal that, just because maybe somebody might, if you whisper to somebody, and that is a crime, you guys, when it comes down to that, like pushing people out and and doing things to stop people from moving ahead. That is a crime in when it comes down to business, but not a big enough crime to stain somebody's career. You understand what I'm saying? It just feels like they are more looking to just stain certain people's names. But I think if you don't have any evidence, I think as the listeners, the viewers, people are being more. We're more trained to know what clickbait is now, being that we've been served so much of it. We know, like, oh, nah, that guy's just clowning around. That's not really serious. A lot of people can identify what is being told, especially when it depends on the content creators. That's why I say you got to be very, very serious about what you're doing and what you're letting your audience, know. Because if you're making a joke out of everything, then nobody knows to take you serious. Almost like the cry wolf syndrome. So you don't want to put yourself in that place. I know when it comes down to information, just make sure you get as much truth out there to your audience as you can. And I feel like in these times, we're the people that's buying into all the, because you buy people's time, you buy into people's products, you buy into people's energy, and I feel like we're the ones that make the decisions if we feel like, should it be anything be cut off or anything, because we're the consumers. At the end of the day, we still hold value and we still have stake in this fight. And I feel like they don't have enough evidence. All they have is, because headlines and things like that could stain careers, but when you're strong within yourself, can't nothing change you from being who you are. So we're still waiting to see what's going on with that. Are they going to take that off the table, scratch it off, and just concentrate on what they're working on with Diddy? Or are they going to stick this fight out and just lose it in front of our eyes? And that might discredit if he doesn't have the right evidence, his lawyer credibility. So he's playing in the shark pool right now, I'm telling you. He's definitely playing in the shark pool. For those who don't know, Selena, she was a past singer. I believe, you guys correct me. I'm not sure if she was Puerto Rican or Colombian. I'm not sure her background, but she was a singer that had been murdered in the past from jealousy, just jealousy, or you could say not just jealousy. You can say almost the same thing, like that overdriven fan that doesn't know, when they get in front of you, they don't know what to do, and it becomes a point where they end up harming you or themselves. And she was a case of that. But now 30 years have passed from that tragic death, and the person that did that served the life sentence, wants to be released on parole. So I don't know how people take that. I know. And Selena let me tell you, she really touched the hearts of many people. She's a big singer, but at the same time, when a person serves their time, I feel like, it should be granted, even though, and that's what I know this is gonna sound crazy, but what's been going, I didn't want to bring this the other day. I know people seen it, and I didn't want to watch the video the other day because I didn't want to feed that type of energy to myself around these times, especially around the holidays. But we all hear, and some of you guys seen that brutal fight with the cops on body cam, and just the whole prison system, the jail system. Things have to be restructured, you guys. Now, I know you want to put people away, bad people away, but we also got to understand that some of these places, when you put them away, you're never going to see them again. People are dying in there because people are doing whatever with them, and it's not right. People still have a heartbeat, and they're still human beings. Whether they're wrong to somebody through mental issues or just hurting somebody else, they still deserve a place where they should be locked up without having to, this another possibility of them being killed. If that's the case, well, you might as well, in court, when you serve them the time, you might as well say impossibility of dying. Because, come on now, I think the system is broken, and the reason why it's broken is broken to no trust. People, they're not committed. A lot of people are not committed to their jobs, their lives in these times because of hurt. Sometimes you don't realize how, it's kind of like, it's almost like stress could be like a stray bullet. Like, it skim you, you don't even know you're hurt, and then you look down like, oh, well, I'm bleeding, because you learned already how to numb it and live through whatever was coming towards you. Sometimes you got to really slow down and try to fix what's going on, and then, get back to life. And some people don't get that chance to do that because they make these decisions, and then they end up in like these prisons, And then you have somebody else that's in the same predicament, but they might be stronger than you, might have the ups on you, might be quicker than you, and something go down, and now your life's in jeopardy, and you was probably only serving maybe what 2 to 4 years or something, and now you lost your life to somebody that was going to be in there for the rest of their life. So it seems like going to prison, going to jail, it's almost like, yeah, you're almost risking your life, whether you have 1 year in there, 2 years, it don't matter how many years in there, anything could be happen because you're not gonna be the authority in there, or some people are misusing their authority and letting things go on that can possibly, land you, in the coffin. It's sad and it's scary. That's why when it comes down to crime, there's so many other things you can be doing and skip over, getting over on people. And that whole mentality of, you're gonna do this or this is gonna happen. It's like, yo, you know what? At the end of the day, it's not really all worth it for that stuff, man. All that stuff is only gonna land you in a place where you don't gotta be. You can do all that meditating and all that, that seclusion on your own and come out healthier than going to a place where somebody can stab you or hurt you. And if you're gonna end up in there, good people end up in prison too. I say it all the time. But usually, if you're a good person, you end up in there and you're in defense of your family, or you're in defense of a situation that you had to do something that landed you in there, you would have more peace within yourself than knowing that you could have did something else. Those are decisions you make because there's no other decisions to make, and that's how the situation ended up. And with that, you should be able to work a piece out of that to get you through whatever you have to get through. But if you're just going out there waking up and doing stuff to people randomly and hurting people, then everything from that point on should be a random blur as your life starts to fade away and you make these type of mistakes, because you could be in there, somebody, do something to you. Karma is real. Karma is real. We learned that from 2023, right? We've seen so many things happen, like to rappers and different entertainers that we thought would be or make better decisions. It's not here anymore. So anything can happen, and that's how we should really look at 2025. You have to be expectant of the unexpected, because with all of this, look, let me tell you, I've seen another person, let me see if I have put it down there for you guys, and it has to do with media. Hold on 1 second. Let me show you guys something. I believe it's, hold on, I had something for you. Okay, yes. Okay, LeBron James. This is what I want to, I always tell you guys that it looks like media is on the up from your eyes, but behind the scenes, media is falling. Now, LeBron James, he has a media company, it's called Spring Hill, and they're facing financial struggles. But what you have to realize is the reason why certain media is taking different hits is because of these conversations and structured. Look, everybody that is working in those media places, they're trying to really deep down find ways to replace them with AI. AI can do a lot that people are doing. It's a lot. You got to really think about like the DJing. If all of this like media things in the background, I could see in the future a place just powering everything, and you're just funneling it in, and you don't know what's coming out, because the way it's looking like they're trying to replace people with technology. I see it. Yeah, they're saying they raise minimum wage, but they know damn well the youth ain't rushing to get to the job, because they know they can do other things and work other things and communicate with their people to make more money. And they really have to take a look at, I think people need to get off of their podiums or their stages and really sit down with the people and see what's actually going on, what's actually hurting them, and what's making people stop and can't go get ahead. Because all people are looking at is like the overall. You have to really know, if you look at from the overall, it just look like one solid thing. You gotta break it up. Break people up in different things and try to solve things within each communities and things like that. That's how you try to figure things out, because something that we're feeling I'm telling you, it feels almost like a blur. Like this whole, like, it just the whole New Year, everything, the holiday spirit is almost like it doesn't feel as how it used to. And nobody, as the youth don't know, when we say things like, yo, I'm telling you it was bad, they don't know because they didn't live our time. But we know because we felt that, and we know what we usually expect, and sometimes these expectations, we see them fading away, fading away, fading away, because things are changing in these times. People are not having that love for other people. People are using things to replace what other people are doing. We already started having sex with technology. We just don't realize that. And it's not to be funny. We just don't realize that we've been having sex with technology for a whole. You mean you think you don't have sex with a robot, but because you have something you can put a battery in it and please yourself. But if now you take that same thing, you put a battery in it, and you form $100 or $1,000 person around that, and that same thing is there, you start realizing you've been sleeping with technology. And the more we draw away from each other is the more worse. It's gonna get bad, 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 bad. We gotta not, and it goes back to the type of thinking Elliot Wilson. Oh, I'm a journalist, and now these rappers are coming in here and taking my journalism, and now, no, you have to feel within yourself that you have something to offer the culture, no matter what your subscribers look like, no matter what your numbers look like. You gotta know what you have to offer, whether they get it today or they get it tomorrow. The type of person that you're displaying yourself to be is the type of person that, as content creators, you don't symbolize what an entrepreneur really is supposed to be. Cam'ron more symbolizes that. See, I think the part that rubs these people wrong is when they put the money around it. Like Cam said, he took 200,000 and to start his off. But you gotta understand, Cam came from a place where before it would have been $2, he would have still split it. You're more thinking about the money and letting that charge your mind, not thinking that man worked way too hard for his money. He worked all this time, and we all know that. And as a hip hop, you say you grew up in hip hop and this and that, but if you see it through that lens, that means that even if you grew up all these years, just because you have length don't make you a legend. Don't make you have that. See, a lot of people, they get themselves caught up with how much they making, and that's what made the culture, everybody on this snag thing. But don't look at Cam'ron as the one. Look at him as the original ones. He more stands for the originals. So when you see him doing something, that's a blueprint for you to say, you know what, I can do it my way. Not his way, my way. And I don't think and that's the same mentality that drives us to separate. We can't do that. We have a lot of that in New York. Nobody's going to admit it, but there's a lot of that. But you'll oftentimes, trust me, when you hear me shout out the content creators that I shout out, and all these good people that tune in, these are people that they don't really care about numbers. What's the message? Who are you? What are you saying? What's your point? Oh, I understand what you're saying. Okay, maybe I understand. These are not people that just look at it for, that's the reason why there's a bunch of people right now, their playlists look all the same. Not mine. My playlist is you will be so surprised, different music from all over the place. All over the place. And it's because I choose not to stand on that line of this is what you're supposed to. That's what you're supposed to. But the way we live, the way we go about ourselves, that's what made us who we are. We don't have to go about the way somebody has a structured place for us. So you gotta watch out for those people that don't want to see other people win. That's what it's all about. It's not about what a person is doing. And it doesn't matter. You can start your page tomorrow, your channel tomorrow, and it has 1 million views. Does it mean that I'm gonna look over like, oh my goodness, I was doing this and now there's no. It just means that you had something that you didn't see in yourself. And maybe you could look back like, I used to watch him too. Yo, come along. That's what makes us who we are. Not the person looking over like, no, I was a journalist doing this and that for this long, and now you come along. Well, think about it like this. You're going to be the same person when the youth is asking you, oh, how'd you get there? You wouldn't tell them the right blueprint because you want to hold on to your job for the rest of your life and not show somebody else because you feel threatened that they might be often better than you. Well, that's not how it's supposed to be. I want the people that I tell things and open their minds up to things to be way better than me so they can teach me something. I hate just staying in one place without learning something. I like to learn at least one thing every single day. If I can't learn something, I'm teaching somebody about something that I believe strongly in. And don't think that my life is this like, I'm a regular person. It's just that I choose I make sure that if I'm gonna cut this on, I'm gonna have something substantial enough for you guys to take with you. That's the only difference. I refuse to just come around here jokey, because so many people do that and lose sense within themselves. That's it. I mean, come on. Another thing that's really dope. Eminem, he praises Redman for his new album. You know, the Muddy Waters 2. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Love Redman's new album. Love Redman's energy. This is the energy that he always had. If you knew Redman from back in the day, Superman lover up to this point, Redman has been his self. This is always him. When you see, okay, so for example, I can give you new artists that's a cut off of Redman's tree. His energy. Like when you see like a Ludacris, when you see like a The Baby, when you see like a anybody that like Wiz Khalifa, that energy of, you know, he was the first one to do all of that. He was the one bringing that energy and just letting people know you can be yourself and still be appreciated, instead of trying to put on this rapper outfit, this rapper persona, and without, you know, just don't lose who you are. And he repped for New Jersey for so long. He put New Jersey on his back. And now he drops an album at this point in stage where the critics are out there. The critics are going to be very judgmental towards an older MC coming in, and he comes in with this energy and everybody embraces him. My goodness. Even I'm talking about from young to old, because you know what? It's not about your age when it comes down to music. It's about your energy. If you have the right energy and people can attract you, they can still feel that guy that they once loved. And that's why Redman needs to be commended, because there's a lot of people that drop albums here and there. But when you just take a look at one of his videos, listen to one of his songs. I'm not saying go listen to the whole thing if you're not. Listen to, and I bet you're going to continue listening to his music. Redman, salute to Redman. And, you know, some MCs still have that in them, that the same thing that drove people to love them when they first started music, they still have that to this day. That's how you know when the vibe is authentic and somebody ain't just pick it up or look over at somebody and say, you know what, I'm gonna try to do what he did. No. What about just trying being yourself? It's the easy way of going about things. You don't have to rehearse it when you're being yourself, you know? You don't have to. It comes off very easy. You could lay it out there, do what you want, mess up, correct yourself. You know, you don't have to be this Mr. or Mrs. Perfect to get your point across and to people, because we all know as human beings that we all make mistakes. It's just some of these mistakes that people are making that makes us go, wow, you know? So shouts out to Redman for that, man. Good energy, good energy. Let's see, what else? I had something else here for you guys that I wanted to speak to that I had missed last time on talking to you guys about. Oh, there we go. Now, I couldn't stop. You know, certain things make me chuckle on the internet, but I know my people gonna get it, and I know eventually y'all gonna start realizing what I've been telling you. Now, when it comes, let's start at fashion. Now, Walmart, they have a bag, a Hermes bag that is going viral because people are buying it because it's like a duplicate of the Hermes. Now, let me tell y'all something. It's the same bag. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about fashion. It's the same bag. The only difference between that Walmart bag and the Hermes bag is how you feel inside. That's the difference. Y'all gotta understand what is going on and how. Look, like say for example, if one of those big companies get a hoodie, it's gonna be the same Stanley Stella hoodie that we all design on. It's gonna be the same thing. So, but if you're looking for that in something, no, there's no other place in the world where there's something hidden and these is specific cottons and things hidden that they only have it. That's not how fashion works. That is the same bag, you guys, at Walmart right there. Now, it's up to you to feel when you're walking it. Do you like the bag? Or do you like the aura everybody has around a bag that they feel like, oh, Beyonce and all the big, you know, what is it really? And I want you to really think deep. Do you really want the, that's right there is where I get deep in there and I start thinking like, nah, I don't really want it. It wasn't bad. It was just, because sometimes you think, do I really want that? Or is it just sometimes you just gotta leave things on the shelf. Like some things is just too expensive to be believable. And you know it inside, but you know, like, oh yeah, this is what's this now. So you're really just buying into the vibe. Don't you ever have to buy your vibe. Vibes are not for sale. Vibes are things you pick up. It's just, it's an aura, it's around you, it's how you feel. These people are buying, they try to buy every single thing, not realizing that even with glasses and things like that, they're made all on the same line, man. That's how it goes. Don't let these people fool you, or if you feel like you want to go to Walmart and pick up the bag and because you don't want to go out there and spend these 20, 30,000 of dollars for, pick up the bag. It's the same bag. The person looking over and thinking they're looking down on you are foolish. They don't even know that it's the same thing. They just paid more for the same thing. It's just, that's just how it is. Toyota Infinity, you know, it's like, you gotta see what people are doing here. People are in cahoots with people and they're gonna throw things in. That's the reason why those companies like Shein, Temu, those companies win, they take over because they're actually giving you the prices from the beginning. They're making a profit around it. And that's when you know that, because you got to realize when it comes to business, there's few ways of bringing money into your business. You could bring your money into your business from ads. You could bring your money into business from sales. You can bring money into your business from people investing in you. Okay, so when you have these different options, there's different ways of going about it. Now, if you have people investing in you yourself, your company you will always be good. Your company might switch from time to time. They're investing in you. They're investing in your ideas. They knowing that the more ideas you pull out, one of those things is gonna hit. They're gonna invest in you and your time of reaching these points. Now, if they're investing into the product, that means that you sold them. They're already bought into your story. They bought into that, and that story has to be present every time that product's around. People have to know that story to get that product sold. It's different ways of getting your products off. And people confuse it. The brand is you. That's why I say, a lot of people out here, the reason why you don't really see a lot of like the billionaires or people that invest and make a lot of money off of different things is because their mistakes will be scrutinized and that will mess up their money. So it's not like they're hiding or, there's reasons why them in their presence trying to sell the product, they don't want to do it that way because their flaws is going to ruin their whole business, in other words. So that's the reason why people, they're behind the scene with these things, because that's how it goes, That's just how it goes. Like, think about like, okay, so for example, Joe Budden, he's outside naked. Now, I don't know how criminal this whole thing is, because I don't want to put it on the man. Maybe what he has a lot of truth to what he's saying. It's just maybe it's taken out a certain way. But let's just say if there was maybe like a lady over there and she feels threatened because she feels like he's going to try to do something to him and he was intoxicated and she had kids or something around. Now it makes the story it looks a little different. Now it looks like a little stalkerish, and now this picture that will be painted of, you start seeing past traits of where this type of thing will how this could happen. And that's the scariness about it. So who you are in your presentation is definitely, no matter what you do, if you're selling anything, you have a podcast, you got something going, yeah, people are that's gonna go with it. So you have to be mindful of the person you are outside of social media when you're trying to do things on social media. It's getting serious out here, y'all. People are going to jail for the rest of their life. And it makes no sense out here than to go out there and do these stupid things. It makes no sense. Now, going back to, they caught the guy, there's so much crime going down out here in New York, it's scary. They caught the guy that, how could you just light somebody on fire? Like, what type of demon people are, it's this whole like trying to get people, like, I don't know what people be thinking, man. I just don't know. And there's another guy, he pushed the guy in the train, subway, coming up, I took the subway going to high school, N train, R train, y'all know what it is. Shouts out to St. John's. But it's just like, us as people, when we start losing trust in each other, it's going to be a scary way to live for everybody. I hope we understand this. Like, it doesn't, you could be the toughest to the weakest person. It's still going to be a aggressive and scary, environment. And that has nothing to do with how much money you have, your status, or anything. It just has to do with your routes, your everyday living life, going places and meeting new people and going to here to eat and going there to shop. All of these things are going to give you more probabilities of you getting harm to yourself, your family, because you don't know what the next person is thinking. You know, you got to really think it out, man, and think it out in these times. Life is worth more than that. I'm hoping that we can come to some more understanding. The Fat Joe and Lord Jamar thing is still going on. It's like, and it's sad that because it becomes this miseducation of who we are as a culture, not just individuals, but as a culture, who we are. Like, and it's sad that Joey, not even an apology has came up, because I thought at this point he would say to himself, you know what? Yeah, that was kind of offensive, saying they broke N-words and things like that. I think I spoke a little too much. Sometimes I could, but it takes a certain type of person to check themselves. And even if it looks bad on themselves to a whole bunch of people, they still feel, you can't be the macho man and everything you say is right and you don't make mistakes and you could walk around and offend people and you just going on with your life. You can't be that guy. You got to also say, you know what? I think I might offend somebody. Hold on. Let me rewind that. Let me go back and try to prove that, you're not this person people are painting you out to be. But just standing in the back and, it's just, I don't know, man. Sometimes the level of disrespect, and it's not say, I don't think Fat Joe is like a bad guy. I never, to be honest with you, and I don't think he's racist. That's my thing too. I don't think Fat Joe is racist. I just think that there comes a point where people can get at a high level of disrespect, not know that they're jumping into these spaces that it can be looked at as that. And that's just a high level of disrespect. That, like I always tell you, talking down on people, belittling people. You see it a lot on social media because everybody wants to show what they have, but it shows, they think it just shows that, but it shows way more when you look behind the whatever they want you to see. You start seeing a lot more. Like, you see their sadness, you see items being put in place for happiness and things like that. It makes me think sometimes, like, I'm more type trying to get rid of some of the things that don't really suit me, or how it don't suit my energy, Coming up younger, you feel like you needed this, you needed that, and then you get the thing and then you need something else. So you got to really go try to find the thing that you're going to need. When you got it, you don't need anything like that anymore. I don't know. So I'm in that type of space right now. But for 2025, oh, another thing too, on the Uncle Murda wrap up, it's like, I felt like it, and also Mad Skillz did a wrap up too. I don't want to forget Mad Skillz wrap up. Mad Skillz wrap up was dope too. He did it like on a West Coast-ish beat, but I really like Uncle Murda. Uncle Murda's joint. I feel like Murda, he never misses things out. He never missed things out, man. I'm gonna be listening to that throughout the day because I only got 2 listens. To be honest with you, 2 listens because I fell asleep and woke up thinking like, wait, hold on, the Murda joint, and it was there. So I'm like, okay, cool, let me check it out. But yeah, there's a lot of things that, when just listening to it, all the things that happened, I could do topics off of Uncle Murda's wrap up because there was so many things that were happening. It's like, come on, man. This year was wicked. From the baby, I think Diddy put the icing on the cake for the year though. And when you realize, like, I had to realize this is 2 years going on with Diddy. It's 2 years. It's not just one, it's 2 years. And I just hope that he can get his mind right, and I hope at the end of the day, everybody get their just due, and that's it, man. I know as far as me, I'm just gonna be doing what I do and just bringing new things to you guys, stepping up the brand, and that's another thing too. So picture if somebody's thinking like in the Elliot Wilson way, so that I don't look at other fashion designers. I don't look at other fashions, even though there is a thing where you see other brands, a lot of brands, they like steal from other brands. And I never look at the fashion that way. I look at it like, this is something that if you're into what I'm doing, if you believe in me, then, because that's where fashion is going. A lot of these companies, they feel like they can use these old school ways to sell people clothes that they sold them last year. And people are catching on, and people are like, you know what, I'm going to hold this. Or this, what happened to the person that said, this is my favorite sweater? Like, I have a favorite jacket that is that clip-on is about 2-3 years old now that I just can't get. I love the coat. So, people are getting their mindset to things that's more they can keep for a longer time now, instead of just throwing things away, because that's what they want you to do, so you can keep purchasing. And then you look around, and then your bank account is not, it's not familiar to you. So, yeah, man. It's all about mindset when it comes to 2025. It's all about bettering yourself and the people around you, and not always trying to get people to see it the way you see it, but just try to have an understanding that how others see it. Because sometimes people just don't get things, man. It's all due to the people around them. It's just too much to think about for some, and for some of us, it's all we think about. But I feel like it's gonna be a great. And look, we got Valentine's Day right around the corner. Right around the corner. Now, when it comes down to people are gonna. This is where the heartbreaks and all of this stuff. Look, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Valentine's Day could be a day where you remember all the bad things that happened in your relationships, or it could be a time where you could start new love. Nobody ever says that. You could start new love on Valentine's Day and all of that. You don't have to have something. If you don't have something now, or you're looking forward to trying to couple up or have a relationship going, this is the time where this is the top of the year. This is the time where you got to start fishing. And let me tell you something, when it comes down to the ladies, fellas, it don't matter who make the move first. You got to make the move for love in these times, because if you don't make the move or give love a shot in these times, you're going to end up like some of these people here, lost. And being single is not the worst thing too. The single life, I can tell you, the single life is full of happiness. Being single does not mean that you don't have a partner that you guys do what you do, or it's just not the commitment part of it. You didn't get there yet, or structure your life the way you want to structure your life. The traditional way of doing things is going to be replaced by technology. I tell you, they know the youth don't want to run in there and get paid that much. They're going to do something else, or don't stay long at the job. So they're trying to replace people with technology. That is sad, but you got to be mindful. So be the person, the controller of the system, instead of trying to work for the system. I think that's where things are going to be more headed, because if you really look at things like the things that we can just jump on and punch in, or maybe like, your taxes and calculating things, all of that stuff, technology can gather that all up, solve it for you, and have it to you in less than 2 seconds. So we have to be mindful of that, and know that the things that we're going to connect with each other are throughout. It doesn't have to just be conversations, but like things like that, we have to handmade things are going to be more valuable than ever, because we're getting to the point where pictures are not even in value anymore. Like some of the art that I've seen AI do so many duplications. It just makes art feel like value is dropping on that stuff too, because how you feel about the art on your wall is very personal than how everybody should know what it is for. It's no longer, oh, that's the Basquiat, because they realize not everybody can get one of those. But if somebody paint a certain picture that it could probably be duplicated, you're going to see that all around the world. So the value begins to drop. So the value in things that AI can't produce, and the things that we can just do from our human experiences, those are going to be the things that's left for us to have the most value. All of this media and all of this streaming, all of the way we listen to music, the way we consume music, the way we pay for music, all of that stuff is going to change, because it's not a strong enough structure to actually guide where the money is coming from, or sometimes where the money is even going. I've heard, I was watching an interview on, what's the name of that, Beehive TV, out there in ATL, and Daz Dillinger, he did a lot of the production on Snoop Dogg's albums, and a lot of West Coast. He's real, not just West Coast, but East Coast as well. He's really, really dope producer. You guys gotta look into him. And he was just saying, he has like a similar story. He was saying that, he stopped rap for like 3 years ago and stopped producing for like 3 years because he was taking care of his mom and just things going on in his family. And it came to the point, condolences go out to his family. I believe she had passed, and then he got back into it. And he started looking back at his life and starting to, collect the things that, like, say people owed him for publishing and things like that. He went and got his publishing, everything that they owed him, and he got his money back. And now he's on, he's back on doing what he does. But you have to find a point in your time where you could separate your real life and the life people expect you to live, and know which one is the one that suits you best. And I feel like when he went back and take care of his family and things, like, I could relate to that because, man, look at this, man. In life, we don't know what's coming next tomorrow. We don't know. I just lost two aunties, Auntie Cynthia and Pat. And even my stepbrother's mom passed. I told you guys in a couple days back. And I look at life like, man, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Things is just happening. God is up there, and everybody has their time. Let me try to make the best of time. The older you get, you take that more serious. The noise that you hear people talking, or maybe the feelings they might have about you, trying to think about, they're trying to paint this picture of who they think you are. I don't never pay attention to that unless it becomes so offensive where people are actually pointing things out that it's not true. But don't pay attention to that stuff. Those will hurt people that haven't found themselves yet. Because when you feel good about yourself, you want other people around you to feel good about themselves too, so you can all enjoy yourself. You never want to be that only person with the only thing and the only this, only that. It causes friction. And that's where those sayings come from, like the king is get his head cut off and things like that, because people, the things that people worship and the things that, they're all the wrong things, man. Our communication always meant way more than anything else. How we busted up with each other, the way we come up with things, solve problems. Now we got technology just pushing us out the way. Where does it leave us? It leaves society with a place where's the most money going to be generated from, It might come more in the health industry, but at the same point, there's technology being added into the health industry to solve, and cure diseases and things like that. So, the pay is not going to be the same. So it's only going to be up to us to say, wait, hold on, you deserve more. It's up to us to be that way. If we're going to keep going the greedy route, oh no, we're just going to then we're still going to end up in the same place. Yeah, we might have less diseases or we might have less problems, but at the same point, people are not going to have that trust within each other. To build that trust up comes in being honest. Being honest to your audience first before you try, because some people, they're not even honest to their partner, and they jump on here and they want to do something on you, and it's lies and lies and lies and lies, and then they come to the realization and they want to change themselves. But it's like the cry wolf syndrome. Nobody's going to listen to you because they don't feel like look at not to just jump on her like that, but look at Bad Barbie. She come back now and start defending the guy that we seen in our own eyes beat on her. And she comes with this false sense of, oh, everything's going to be all right. No, sweetheart, we've seen this time and time again in different patterns. Now, I can't guide your life into say, because that guy, you guys have a baby together. All I can say is I pray and hope that guy has took a different route of putting his hands on you, blackening your eye and doing this and that to you, because he going to find himself in prison. So we all see what's going on, even though you're coming and telling us this story that I don't even think you believe. I think that's the story you really wanted it to be, but it didn't turn out that way. So when you see people doing that, they didn't find themselves yet. Whether it doesn't come with age, it doesn't, it comes with experience, and one day you just wake up like, you know what, I don't want to be this way. I don't want to get people treating me this way. And you start from that point making your little changes until they turn into big changes. But I see her coming with the same excuses. Oh, he didn't do that, trying to, hold him down. But he did do that, and he did do this, and he did hit you here and there. You ended up in the hospital. Come on now. Do better, do better. Do better for your peoples. If that's the person you claim to love, don't be putting your hands on her all crazy and doing all of this stuff, man. It makes no sense. You're going to find yourself in big, big trouble. Big trouble. I'm telling you, that girl, she going to holler, and the world going to hear it. And when she can't holler no more, you're going to end up in prison for the rest of your life, like some of these dumbos, like Diddy, for doing craziness. You don't gotta be that way. If anything you're gonna avoid in these times is haters in prison. For real. You don't need anybody out there with a mentality feeling like they're the only one or they should be the only one on this platform doing the only journalist and only this, only that. Those people is like, come on now. Stay away from me, man. You're the same people that held back a lot of people that could have changed the future and changed the game because of your restrictions, your ideologies. Things don't always go your ways. People want to structure it the way they want to structure it, and everybody has their audience. You don't have to come on here and down somebody. I can't. That type of thing, it just rubbed me wrong, man. You can't be that way. If you feel like it's cringy to you, why you gotta come on social media and say, oh, it's cringy? What have you did? And I know you, and I'm not discarding what you did in the past for hip hop, because yes, there was a point in time where you were that go-to for that type, information and that journalistic point of view. But as times progressed, we've seen more people doing YouTube. A lot of people wanted to give their opinions on things. Why are you mad at them? Yeah, you can go to college and get tips on being a journalist, but as life as we know it, these are a lot of people's way of expressing themselves, and they were doing it for different things. They weren't looking at it as a job when it came down to content creating on YouTube. It's more of like for some people, as myself, it helped me with my anxiety. It helped me, instead of holding all the stuff in, I can at least connect with a few people and let it out, and some people can feel me for what I'm saying. But you look at it as a job, and you're supposed to get this out of it and that out of it, and that's not the way to look at life. If I did it that way, I would never win on YouTube. I would never win. Why would I come up here with positive energy? Why would I do all of these things knowing I'm going fighting against a brick wall, this brick monster of negativity? I wouldn't do that. The people that benefit from different conversations are the people that want to benefit from these conversations. If you don't want to do something, it's not going to be in your heart to do, or you feel some kind of way when people are speaking good to you, well, then this might not be the place for you. But of course I can jump on here and say some negative things and this and that, but what picture does that paint for myself? Because I'm not that person. When I get negative, it has to be about, trust me, it's no in the middle with me. It's either all the way on each side. That's just how I'm giving it up. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, the reason why I treat it with more structure and watch the things that I say and not drop the N word and these things that I might speak around amongst people that I'm maybe around. It's because other people look at it that don't know me and think that that's all I'm about, because they're only going to hear those before they hear the message. So I'm aware of that. But does it say that, that I don't listen or like people on YouTube doing it their way? That's crazy. You really think that? You're looking at somebody that the people that's telling you that how they've been in the street or did this and did that. I've been in like, put it like this, y'all. When y'all hear these stories, right? When y'all hear these stories, like you hear these rappers telling these stories, and from the biggest rappers to the smallest ones, you hear these stories going around YouTube. Just always remember that they weren't the only one in those stories, those places, those clubs, and there were people in there. There were people in there. You're not the only one with the stories. You understand? I lived a life through hip hop from the beginning. Like, this goes way back to grade school. I didn't, this is not anything fake. And I've seen certain people come up in the game, and I appreciated them for all the things that they put into it. But then you have like a certain group of people that feel like hip hop is theirs. And no, it's for everybody. It's not just yours. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I don't like that. And especially, the people always go to the wrong artists, like always pick out the wrong artists, like the guys that really stood for something in the game and left there, and added a brick to their game. They go for those guys, and the guys that's hustling and getting the money. The reason why they don't talk about those guys, because they scared of those guys. They don't want to say nothing to those guys because they feel like if they offend those guys, you know they ain't got too much of talent. They're trying to pay their way in or get one song in. They know they ain't got too much of talent. So if you offend those guys, they feel like those guys are going to do something outside of that to hurt them. They probably would. You know why? Because they ain't supposed to be there in the first place. Rappers don't get into fights and doing all these nonsense stuff. You're supposed to be working on your music. That's why the greats you don't see. Do you see Nas in big brawls out there doing crazy, silly stuff? No. Because the message that he puts out in his music should be enough for people to understand who he is as a person. Don't approach him on that type of nonsense. These are the people I listen to. People that have carved out a better sense of what they felt hip hop was and how it related to the people very clear, very, very clear. Some of these people, when I hear the Grammy, I stopped watching that a long time ago. And I don't take that just because they're shouting people out, oh, he's getting the Grammy, she's getting the Grammy. It don't really mean anything to me. I just really look at it for the show, to be honest with you. Because a lot of the artists that I felt like really went hard for the year and the dropped albums that they didn't get everything, they didn't get the Grammy. So I can tell that their ears are off. I'm happy that they have somebody like Jay-Z and they're trying to, steer it in a certain way, because if he wasn't there, then imagine where it would be, So, but I still don't give it it's no big deal. I'm be honest with you, it's not a big deal. Who you like and the person, your artist, I always like to see my artists get their just due. But when you realize how the game is being played, you're like, no, I hope you got your just due and fulfillment when you made the song. Don't expect, because these people, they're going to do trickery with it. Especially the stuff that I like, the good vibes, the love making music, and people people don't understand street music is not just thugging, and street music is not just about killing. Street music could be about me and Shorty, like, standing at the bus stop, sucking on a lollipop. Come on. Y'all know better than that. We got to cut the nonsense out for 2025 and try to restructure the way we present this thing. And I want to see more people jumping on YouTube and putting out content. I'm the type of content creator. If I feel like somebody is having they're on the edge because they ain't getting enough subscribers, I'm gonna start liking, sharing their stuff to keep them going, because I know what it is when you're looking at it like that from that route. Don't look at it like that. If you starting something, just expect, especially, look, if you from where I'm from, you from my culture, you understand. You gotta expect the BS. You gotta expect it. And just knowing that your message is more powerful, even if it hit a few people and they keep it inside and tell it to the next person, even if somebody, your favorite content creator somewhere else sounds like me, remixes it and do it their way, as long as the message is the same and they're not trying to remix it to something different, like turning love into hate, then it's all right with me. It's all right with me. I'm not the type of person like, oh, he did this, he did that, because I've been used to that all my life. I ain't really worrying about who took this and took that. All I'm really worrying about is the message I'm delivering every single time. Because I know the more you understand what I'm saying, it's going to make it harder for them to trick us as a whole. It's not just about me. I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be all right. I'll fight my way through. I'll be all right. There's a lot of people out there. You know how many rappers out there? I know a lot of these dudes, man. But it takes the person with this to say, yo, nah, that's my guy. There's a lot of people, but I don't concentrate on none of that stuff. You don't see me coming up here with the Fenty this and Fenty that. I don't have to do all of that. If you believe in the truth, you believe in the truth. If you don't, then that's on you. That's that social media got your mind all like this. Spinning for what? Makes no sense, man. So for this, we're gonna start this year off with some good energy, and we're gonna put more loving and more stuff like that in our recipe than all this hate and the separation in our recipes. That's the reason why I don't want to get into the Fat Joe and Lord Jamar. I mean, the conversation is way bigger than just them. The conversation that really needs to be had is, do we know us? Do we know us? Do we know us good enough as a culture to say, I know the difference between what he's saying and she's saying, but they both have some truth to this? Do we know us, or are we just faking it? Are we just is it like regurgitated things that people say and then people go off of that and then they make their own ideologies out of it? Do we know us? Or are we just up here doing this fight to have this sense of somebody, or do we know us? Once we start realizing that who we are is going to really, we could defend us if we knew who we were, but do we know us? Because I see a lot of youth killing each other. They feel like there's something else after that. When you do these crimes, your life is over with. You don't know what's next to come. Is whatever else is that life has to offer will no longer be awarded to you. You'll never have chances of doing this because of the mistakes you made. I want to give another shout out to, I see Troy Ave came out and he's back on his YouTube doing his thing. He's dropping music. I heard a song that he dropped. It sounded really good. And one thing I want to say about our New York artists, man, the artists that came out from our time coming up to this point, stick to the music, you know? I feel like he had more to offer in the music than he had to offer from his street point of views and those things. And now I see him with his kids. That was warming to me to see that a father comes out and not only does he come back to what he's doing, but he gives a different explanation of himself. It's no longer, yeah, he still has the, like, it's kind of like like I told you about Mayweather. Yeah, you could see him and you know he got Gucci this, Gucci that, but that's not really the main focus. You know, it's not his main focus. He always had a good ear for good music. And I feel like I see him back there content creating. You think about the experiences he's been through, like he shouldn't have to watch his back, but it's sad out here. You know, people don't really get it. And people are still stuck on that street mentality. And it's not saying that the street mentality should be disappeared, but it's just saying the street mentality just have to be restructured a little and add more love in that palette. And you'll have, instead of calling them gangs, you can now say, this is my second family, instead of, you know, these people that because they're putting these people away for RICOs, y'all. They're not getting another chance, you know, and they're not giving people chances out here. So when I heard Troy came back out and he's just doing his thing, just everybody that's a part of this, make sure if you came into hip hop to do hip hop, stick to hip hop and leave the street stuff behind. That stuff, AI and technology is catching up with the criminals, man. It don't make no sense now. Shouts out to 50 Cent too. Talking about hard work. Look at his blueprint. And we know 50 a real one. I could guarantee you 50 Cent is a real one. Met him myself on different occasions. I met him on the block, 160. Shouts out to 160. Everybody on the block, from rest in peace, Huey P. Just the type of guy that he takes his strength and it's a mindset. Y'all understand, man, when you go through things, man, and you see people out there and you know they like you see another person out there and they trying to do their thing, you trying to get in the game and somebody reject you or tell you you ain't this, you ain't that. The type of energy that builds up, and he built himself into a place. 50 took losses in front of our faces and still bounced from that and still went back up. That's need to be commended. Represent the rappers that really stood for something, and their influence on the people makes them do better at whatever they're doing, not just rapping. Like, you know, just doing better at what you love doing. You could look at him and say, nah, he ain't give up, and he took, like, come on, man. Shouts out to and still to this day, I'm hearing that he's doing there's a possibility he might be doing an album with Eminem. I just feel like that conversation, it feeds the haters enough to know that even if they don't do an album 50 Cent and Eminem, it's the possibilities that they can. And don't you ever forget the person that held that man down from a place where a lot of people don't make it out of. And he pulled him and took him all the way out there with his crew, and he became something. You see? That's Elliot Wilson. Take that type of Eminem spirit and say, you know what, I don't care where that guy's from, I'm going to give him a shot. And that's what a true person with a heart is. So to see 50 Cent still holding it down with him, he understands that the person that got him really there and really gave him the opportunity, he'll never turn his back. Those are the real people you could trust. Not these guys that just shake your hand like this and by the time the deal finished, you don't even know where you're sleeping in the morning. Them boys got everything and they own everything from you. Bad record deals. Be careful of the people you invest in. Invest in the people that they give people shots, even if they don't give you a shot. Don't mean that they don't give other people a shot. You got to see yourself in the other people that they gave a shot. And your heart will be pure. Not everybody going to give you. They might not know you. But just knowing that somebody out there like you that they gave a shot, you know what type of person they are. Never forget that, man. I love you guys. And I think the next time I see you guys is Friday. I really appreciate you guys every single time I drop these episodes. And I have some new things coming for 2025 too. So don't think I don't got you. I got a lot of new things coming. But I just wanted to just get my thoughts out on that whole Elliot Wilson and Cam'ron thing. It was just bad energy. Fix that, y'all. And yeah, Joey, man, go put on some clothes. There's cameras out here, these Ring cameras. Don't get yourself caught up in this type of stuff, man. You could do better than that. You got a nice little podcast going for yourself. You got some nice people up there that's holding a conversation. I'm pretty sure once or twice in the past I've heard that your podcast did hit #1 on, I don't know what, wherever it is, I don't know, Bill, I don't know what they do with these podcasts, but I'm hearing a few times that your podcast did well. And just knowing you, and you could steer off the places when other things are added in. Just get your mind right and don't find yourself in these places, because sometimes things can get highlighted that's not even need to be highlighted, and it could cause you a career. I'm not hating on nobody. I just want people to know, just you got to do better and be careful out there, man. Technology has passed us. You don't want them to take over you. So until next time, it's your boy Mickey Fenty, aka Mickey Made It. If you're new to this channel, you know what to do to this channel. Subscribe right now. Appreciate you. Love you.